Good evening. I'm Betty Beardsley, a member of the Somers League of Women Voters. And this is the forum for school board members. And we have 4 candidates for 3 places. And I am going to introduce to you now the president of the League for Somers, Carol Sturts. And she will introduce the PTA Council President. Thank you for coming.
Hi, I'd like to welcome all of you here this evening. It's great that you come out for something like this and that you're really interested in your educational system. It's a pleasure to see all of you here. And now, I would like to introduce the president of the PTA Council, Carol Sirico.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome again. As Carol had said, it is a pleasure being here. This is my first forum, actually, to be present at. And I am the PTA Council President, and I have been for 2 years. And I would like to introduce to you the candidates that are running for the seats of the school board: Joanne Iacchino, Ife Chang, Jay Olivers, and my husband, Anthony Sirico. So good luck to everybody. And I would like to introduce to you Harry McLaughlin, who is the moderator for this evening's program. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So once again, good evening. My name's Harry McLaughlin, as you now know, and I live in Katona. I don't vote in this school district, so I'm nonpartisan as far as these candidates are concerned. I would like to introduce the timers, one Carol Fox and Ms. Rosenfeld, who will be doing the timing this evening.
Excuse me, but you may need this to bang with, just in case somebody goes.
Well, I don't have room for it, Carol, but I'll give it some thought. They seem like pretty civil people. We'll see how it goes.
We prefer the American system.
We have a couple of ground rules that I'd like to bring to your attention. You all look like nice folks, but sometimes people get excited at these meetings. All the candidates have already drawn lots for the order in which they will speak, for their opening statement and for their closing statement. Any rebuttals that might come in the questions that are asked later on will be included in the closing remarks. Statements from the floor will not be permitted. That means you folks will be certainly allowed and encouraged to ask questions, but we would like you to keep it to what, how, who, when, and where, instead of, you know, folks, this is the way it used to be, and blah, blah, blah. It gets so that somebody else doesn't have a chance to ask a question if you go on too long. Issues and not personalities are to be addressed. That goes both for the candidates and for the questioners. No personal or abusive questions are permitted. The moderator will have the right to rule on all questions. Questioners at the time period when we ask for it must stand, state their name, and indicate to whom their question is addressed. The other candidates will have an opportunity to respond as well. The microphone toward the rear of the room will be used by you folks in the audience. We look forward to seeing you on Monday, May 15th, or Tuesday on May 15th when you vote. So without further ado, we will start the proceedings. And as I mentioned, oh, I thought I did. I'm sorry, Carol. Did I introduce the timers, Ms. Fox and Ms. Rosenfeld? Okay. So the opening statement, as I mentioned, have been selected by lot, and the one to go first, Mr. Iacchino.
Iacchino.
2 minutes.
Okay, go. Good evening. My name is Joanne Iacchino. I am running for a 3rd term for the Board of Education for the Somers School District. I'm currently, as I said, a member of the Board of Education. I'm a trustee. Just so everyone's clear, the Board of Education sets policies. We hire superintendents and administrators, as well as set goals and policies for our schools. We do not run the daily routine of the schools. I have 3 children in Somers. I have Christopher, who's a senior in Somers. I have my daughter Michelle, who's a freshman in the high school, and my daughter Alyssa, who's currently in 6th grade. All very, very happy and have done very, very well here in Somers. And I'd like to continue to make sure that that continues for my children as well as everyone else's children, as well as every taxpayer in Somers, that they're happy to be a member of our community. I've been an integral part of all the decisions that have been made for the past 6 years. We've passed every school budget. We've passed a bond of $54 million. And as you can see, we're in the height, in the midst of a lot of construction that's going very, very well. We have done it responsibly. We've only asked for what is necessary, and we do not waste any taxpayers' money. We have done so with great care. We have looked at the big picture, and we're sure to include all children and every taxpayer in Somers. Your current Board of Education, including myself, are warm, caring people that only look for what is right for Somers. We are here to hire great administrators to lead Somers School to the future and prepare our children for college and for the changing world ahead. We practice kindness, integrity, honesty, and we teach knowledge. We believe students need to be good people who are kind and compassionate, and then bright, knowledgeable adults. Your Board of Education will never take the shortcut. We will never settle for mediocre, and we will always stand by our students. This is what I believe in and will continue to do so if elected on May 15th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Iachino. Next to speak is Mr. Chang.
I'm F.A. Chang. I'm a Somers resident of 18 years with 4 boys in Somers schools. I'm a technologist with a PhD in electrical engineering. I'd first like to thank many of you who endorsed my candidacy and placed my name on the ballot. And I also like to thank the Somers LWV for sponsoring this forum so that everyone can have a chance to share everyone's view on the school issues. Now I would like to briefly tell you why I want to serve the school board. After 2 successful, in my own definition, careers, I'm now retired and self-employed, and I made my personal mandate to devote my retirement time to education. In the past few years, I've been volunteered to help teachers teaching in classroom. I have served on PTA as a webmaster for the high school website. I've been inventing educational games to help children to develop a good learning habit. I also have produced a learning game TV show for children to not only learn but have great fun. So currently I'm serving as the board member of the Northern Westchester Putnam Teacher Center, as I believe the teacher development and teacher quality is one of the most critical elements in our school system. I am a liberal in educational initiatives, but I'm a conservative in physical management. I believe in long-term planning rather than short-term fixes. I believe in preventive rather remedial measures. I believe in local community priority more important than the politically correct slogans. I'm looking forward to be elected, and I will work hard and serve our school system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chang. Mr. Sirico?
Yes, thank you. It's good to be here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Anthony Sirico, and let me begin by saying that my participation in the school board will bring a fresh view and new voice to the community of Somers. My qualifications include an undergraduate degree in accounting and an MBA in finance, and with over a 25-year career in a corporate setting, experience as a CFO, I'll bring an enormous amount of financial experience to the board of Somers. I've lived in Somers since 1983 with my wife Carol and my 3 children, Elizabeth, Jacqueline, and Matthew. And over the years, I've assisted in coaching youth athletic programs. I was chairman of Cub Scout Pac 210 for 4 years, and I've represented the community in the hiring of guidance and senior staff for the school district. Now, Somers is a rural community in transition, continuing its growth over the recent years. The school district student census has increased from 2,200 students in the mid-1990s to over 3,300 today. It's It's going to grow over 10% in the coming years. The community has responded to this growth by approving a $54 million bond for the expansion of the school facilities. But Somers, like other communities, face the challenge of managing growth as the debt service from the bond becomes part of our operating expenses and our student census increases over the next few years, while meeting the demand to implement curriculum to serve our community and comply with New York State mandates. So it's a tall order. What are the priorities? It's a priority for the school board to manage growth cost effectively. It's imperative that we get the project completed on time, on budget, and with a minimal amount of disruption. We must foster a safe and secure climate in our schools. And most importantly, this is about the education of our youth, your children. We must continue the trend to improve academic results of all our students. Again, it's good to be here, and I look forward to discussing these topics and more this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Olifers.
Hi, my name is Jay Olifiers, and I'm running for the Somers School Board. My wife, Colleen, and myself and our 4 children have been a resident here in Somers since 2002. 3 of my children currently attend the Somers school system. I have an undergraduate degree from Pace University in Literature and Communications, and I have graduated from the Federal Bureau of Investigation's National Academy 224th session. I am a 18-and-a-half-year veteran of the Mount Vernon Police Department, where I'm a sergeant and I'm assigned to the Field Intelligence Unit and investigate gangs, guns, and robberies. What I'd like to say is that the Somers school system is an excellent school system. We have excellent teachers, and I think that I can add in the safety field and in the drug and alcohol field, I can add and help out and be of an asset to the school board. What I'd like to say is, in today's climate, we have a lot of young families moving in. We have a lot of people that are feeling a tax burden. And the school board, I think, needs to be fiscally conservative, and they've done a pretty good job doing that so far, and I think there are avenues that we can do better. So I have a vested interest here in the Somers School District. I'm going to be here for a long time, and I want to make sure that we're fiscally responsible and that we provide our children with the best possible education that we can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Olifers. Now we have the period where the questions will be asked to the candidates. Mr. Olifers will go first in this first of 3 questions posed by the Somers League. And the question is, what do you hope to accomplish if you are elected? Mr. Olifers, you have 1.5 minutes.
Okay, what I hope to accomplish, number 1, is fiscal responsibility. Number 2, a transparency. Anybody who knows me knows that if they ask me a question, I will tell them the whole answer. I think that our school board needs to be open with the community and explain to them the reasons why taxes go up or the reason why they have to make certain payments. Most importantly, I'd like to add into our school system the DARE program, the Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program, and I'd like to bring it to the 5th graders. Many of my neighbors have informed me of what they believe is a minor, small drug problem at our high school. I realize we have a state trooper assigned there as an SRO. However, I feel that we should have a DARE officer, which we could possibly get on grant money, assigned to the elementary and to the SIS schools so that they can teach the kids and arm them with the ability to say no to drugs, and also to foster a relationship between the police officer and the child, so that as the student gets into the high school, they'll be armed with the ability to say no to drugs, and they'll feel free to speak to the police officer and maybe inform and head off some of the problems that may be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Olifers. Mr. Sirico, do you care to respond to that question? What do you hope to accomplish if you are elected?
Yes. I think there are 3 challenges that the community is facing. I think one is managing our growth. Secondly is safety and security. And thirdly is academics. Just briefly, the growth translates into a financial issue. Managing our debt service, bringing that into our operating expenses in an affordable way, handling the increase in our student enrollment, and also absorbing the additional New York State mandates that we have to deal with. On the safety side, I think it's important that we manage the access and egress of our schools, particularly we're under construction right now, and I think this is important that we...
That's a little too quick, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's important that we manage access and egress while all the construction is going on in a safe manner. And I would say thirdly, with academics, to continue our improving academic results. I think given the fact that we have to comply with state mandates, we still want to meet the needs of our local requirements for our students. So it's important that we do so. And that would be it.
Thank you, Mr. Sirico. Mrs. Iacchino.
If I'm re-elected, I'd like to continue the good work that we've been doing for the last few years. I think that we'd like to manage through the construction phase that we're in and to hopefully enjoy some of the things that we're implementing in the school. I'd like to continue one of the largest tasks that we face in the last few years and continuing to face in the next couple of years is hiring of administrators and high-level people in our school district. They're hard to find, they're far and few. They lead our school district from top level down, from the bottom level up. So I'd like to continue to, search for good people. I'd like to continue to have our schools safe. I'd like to continue pushing ahead and challenging our teachers to learn and to implement better programs, great programs, in a kind and fair way. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chang?
I believe education is a long-term affair, so there's no shortcuts. And I think we should make our schools the best condition environment for our school children. And to do this immediately, we should emphasize to build the school into a enticing environment for learning. Naturally, has to be a safe environment. Also, we need to continually improve the quality of a teaching staff, because the teachers really are the basic of school system. And we also need to plan for the growth. Somer is a growing community, and we need to plan appropriately to accommodate the incoming student population, not get caught in a panic. So if I get elected, I would like to attend the basics, the roots and causes of the problems, rather than just trying to react to what's happened. Certainly security is an issue, but we need to worry about what's the cause of it. So I look to this as long-term affair, and I like to serve it as such. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chang. The next question posed by the Somers League of Women Voters is, and Mr. Sirico will go first on this, what one thing would you like to see initiated or changed in the district?
Well, I think communication is an important aspect of being a board member, and I think that I'd be an advocate for open communication with the community and with the school board and the superintendents. I think that I'd like to see. Well, that's pretty much it. I'd like to see communication.
Ms. Iacchino?
I think if I am reelected, the one thing, I don't know if I would change, I think I would enhance Communication is one thing, but I would like to enhance involvement of the community. We've invited many senior citizens in Heritage Hills to come into the classroom and read to our students and tell stories and get involved. And I like to do more of that. I think there's a lot of learning to be said from our past, so we know we can go ahead in the future. I think that would be a really nice thing to do. I'd like to continue to do that.
Thank you, Ms. Iacchino. Mr. Chang?
This is a question probably 1.5 minutes not enough. I think, in my view, we have to treat the K-12 school as one entity. We have 4 schools, we have 4 principals, but I think we need to improve the coordination of the schools. And we also should communicate well to the parents that parents need to look beyond their own school or their own class, because we have to view a child enter into our school system from kindergarten to high school graduation as one process. Now, this is not to say that we have any bad system, but I think we do have room to improve. Also, I would like to improve the coordination and integration of the activities that are related to learning, in class or out of class, particularly after schools. We have families that are working with 2 working parents, and we do need to have that kind of support coordinated through town, park, school, PTAs, in sync. And I think that's very important for us to make